Hello and welcome to this studio interview at European Utility Week with Engerati. And we now welcome to the studio Ralph Griewing, who's the Senior Vice President of Energy Solutions at Landis+Gyr. First of all, welcome.
Thank you very much, Evan.
Thank you for making the time out of your busy
Pleasure.
schedule while you're here. And we were talking a little bit off air and in preparation for this interview, and I know that certainly with our interaction with Landis+Gyr, there's a lot of, I've seen the business change, very much so. And what I wanted to ask you is, what in that change, you do it for a reason, because things are changing in the market. And what are the innovative trends that you are seeing on the ground within the energy sector?
Thanks, Adam. I mean, if you look into the market, we always talk about the 3 Ds. That's what everybody is currently putting on the spot. It's the decarbonization, it's the decentralization, and at last the digitalization. If we start with the last one, talking about digital, I mean, we talk about smart meters, they get digital, so they offer new business models that nobody currently has thought about. So there's a huge potential where we further can grow. If you think about, the decarbonization, the other D, we talk about renewables. And renewables again mean everything gets decentralized, more flexible, so you need much more intelligence in the network in order to cover these 3 challenges.
So when you look at all of those,
Yeah.
the end result is an increased use of ICT within the network.
Yes.
An increased use of control paradigms, and on a deep functional level, we then get into arguments about PLC or wireless, and but let's leave that for another discussion.
Yeah.
My point is this though, as this sector increasingly moves into an ICT management sector, away from an engineering and project management sector and a data sector, do you see the role of suppliers changing? And to put that into context, right? The supplier-buyer relationship in the past was, you want some hardware, here's some hardware, we'll make it for you, we might help you install it, but here you go. But now with all that ICT layer, is it going up another level? What do you see happening on that side?
I mean, you can see a huge difference. If you walk around here on the fair, you see that everybody's using this buzzword IoT, right? And I mean, there are a lot of differences in IoT, but nevertheless, it tells you, we talk about a migration from very, say, traditional business where IT never has been really of importance. Now IT is driving more or less all the processes within a utility. So therefore, IoT is one of the big words we have to talk about. The second one is cybersecurity, because if you get everything connected and talking to each other, the security is a huge aspect. And the third one, obviously, is artificial intelligence. So augmented reality or similar things, so that you somehow use these latest technologies coming from the IT to optimize the operations of utilities or at the consumer side.
So if we're talking to someone who's managing a distribution network,
yes,
now you take those 3 trends,
yeah,
and I talk to a lot of these people, and I shouldn't call them these people, they're friends of mine, right? So I do talk to them though.
Our partners.
Our partners. And one of the things that they always say to us is like, these trends are frightening for us. And they're not frightening because we are afraid of the challenges, but we don't necessarily have the skill set to drive AI, to trust even in AI, to change the culture and so on. So, when you are talking to either your current partners or new partners that you want to attract, what are you saying to those people to give them comfort, right? That you as an organization can help, because I do get a sense that the relationships are changing from transactive buy-sell to partnership relationships.
Yes.
What are you saying to them to put them at ease?
I mean, we try to help them to get simplicity back into their business, because with these topics like IoT, it's getting more and more complex. If you think about IoT, we are currently developing a software platform which allows you to connect to any kind of devices. Is it meters or other intelligent devices, but also northbound to the IT environment. With this platform, you have the opportunity that we can, in behalf of the customer, the utility, integrate all the different products they have in field. By that, we take over responsibility, reduce complexity on their side, we free resources on their side because they don't have to take care about this new unknown world of IT, and they can look more into other more important areas where they can create value.
So you're effectively a solution partner.
Yes.
Right, so it's not just the hardware. If this is your problem, we'll solve it for you and then manage it as well?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, if you look back in the very, very early times, when the first meters were produced, for ICE meters and this kind of stuff, this is pure hardware. Now the meter gets digital, means intelligent, and you can collect and connect a lot of other products and devices to it. So the complexity increases, the utility is not able to handle everything on their own because they're lacking experience, IT resources, etc., etc. And that's what we are offering. We offer a complete end-to-end service and say whatever you would like to hand over. And you see good examples, for example, in the Nordics, where it's already a trend since a decade that utilities are outsourcing specific tasks and operations, so that with a small team they can focus on these areas where they really can value add.
And you bring in the specialists. It's
Exactly.
a bit like that transition in the IT world from having your own data center in the back room somewhere to buying services as you need them.
I mean, if you look today, everybody's still talking about CapEx. They want to invest into meters, into IT databases, but the trend is more and more to go as a service. So you don't even have to purchase a meter anymore. You can also get it as a finance deal, and it's just a service.
But it's a big issue for them though, because a lot of the utilities, the shareholder value lies in CapEx, and then you're moving it to OpEx, right?
This is true. You see it deviates from country to country. Again, if you go more up north in Europe, you see that the trend already is changing there because they look more into overall, say, TCO optimization, rather than just optimizing the CapEx or the OpEx. They look really end to end. If you link it to IT, for example, just turn 10 years back, on the telecom side was the same way. Everybody first was investing into antennas and this kind of stuff. Now everything moves into an outsourcing deal. They get it leased. They don't own it anymore because the value is really the data rather than owning the infrastructure.
And I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I'm going to get on to my last question to you. But to those people watching, and we get it a lot on our webinars, they say, well, but what about the CapEx issue and so on? My view is that is probably just an accounting issue, right?
It is.
Should they worry about it?
No, they don't have to.
Fine.
It's really more a task for the CFO. How he's going to optimize the balance sheet of the company. There are different solutions how you can manage this one so that they still have this impact, a positive impact. We are more focusing on how can we help them really to optimize their process, get familiar with these new trends, which is coming from the IT side, looking to cybersecurity and this kind of stuff, so that they really can start to utilize the data and generate new business cases rather than to look into how does this meter work or how does this smart grid element work.
And then just as we come to the end of our time here, let's say we do all of this, right? Does it lay foundations for new business models?
Oh, definitely does.
And how are you playing within that? I mean, can you bring some of them to life? Because everybody says yes, it does, but then you ask the question, well, what are they?
Right.
And then the conversation stops. But you guys have been doing some of this stuff.
I mean, there are plenty of ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, did they all materialize already? Not yet. But you can see first examples again in the Nordics, who are somehow, in front of most of the other utilities in Europe, testing and trialing things. But you just can go to our booth and you see Amazon, Echo Dot. We connected it to our smart meter. So you have kind of artificial intelligence. You can talk to this nice lady from Amazon, and she's going to tell you about what is your consumption of a smart meter, etc., etc. So by getting this artificial intelligence more interactive with the consumers, you build up completely new scenarios where the end user is willing to pay for. He doesn't have to walk into the cell anymore to read his data. He can manage demand response requirements.
Because that's a big deal for utilities, isn't it? That digital trust. I remember I got asked to speak at a conference, and I was like going, listen, as an industry, there is a problem, because when Google send out their new T's and C's, you just click yes. And it's a great big long thing. When someone wants to come and install a smart meter, it's a drama, right?
Yes.
The digital trust piece is fundamental to these new business models.
It's a very important topic, and therefore if we look into security, I mean, you know, how do we handle the data across the network? Extremely important that you are aligned with all the regulations, either national or EU-wide, but you also have to make sure that the data that is produced and owned by the consumer or by the operator is handled with respect to safety and care. And that's what, for example, we can do if we also connect, you know, new IT ideas like this Amazon one, because still, you know, all the data remains in the cloud, secured, so there is no access for anybody. And by that we can give confidence to utilities and other consumers that they get used to this one and they enjoy using it and come up with new ideas.
And the fundamental message is this is all a data play now.
It's getting more and more, to be honest. I mean, if you look into the offerings we're doing today, you always have to connect all the three elements. So you need devices, you need a software piece, and you need a service piece. If you really can link all the three nicely together, then you come to an offering end-to-end, as we say, which really brings a benefit to the customer.
Perfect. And on that note, we'll leave it. Kind of run out of time. I feel like we could go on for a long time, but that probably wouldn't work that well. We can follow up in some articles and so on. Thank you very much for watching. It's been another interview with Engerati. We're at European Utility Week in Amsterdam, and thank you for making the time again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.